Hello, everyone. We are Healers United, a group of students dedicated to connecting with and safeguarding the natural world. Our team consists of M. Sawyer, Douglas Horn, Fenda Nord, Eric Tujan, and me, Jake Strollo. We all have a strong affinity for the outdoors, so collaborating with the Mount Grace Land Conservation Trust seemed like a perfect fit. Mount Grace is dedicated to protecting Massachusetts forests, farms, and waterways in order to foster healthy, resilient communities. We hope that this relationship would help them achieve their goals while also enhancing our own commitment to sustainability and community leadership.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben. Firstly, we'd like to include a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Mount Grace was once resided by Native Americans, their rich history and culture predate colonization, and we appreciate their contributions to maintain nature around Mount Grace. It's important to have a land and people's movement moment because it promotes awareness and education about the people who occupied the land or was colonized. The following land acknowledgement was sent to us by Tessa Dowling, the land steward at Alderbrook Meadows. Mount Grace Land Conservation Trust acknowledge that this land has been sustainably stewarded by the indigenous people of the Eastern Woodland Tribe for thousands of years. Mount Grace encourages indigenous people continued connection to this land. Alderbrook Meadows, the site we visited, had some notable plants and animals. The wetland that surrounding the land is beaver impounded, creating a biodiverse habitat for plants and animals. I noticed lots of eastern white pines, red maples, blackbird trees, but also a lot of wetland birds like red-winged blackbirds and even a rare sandhill crane. While visiting, me and my friend Charlie, who I was with, saw the sand crane in the water right next to the beaver dams. We got a closer look and watched as it was looking for its next meal. We continued to watch as the crane took flight soaring above us and down to a high white pine across the river. It circled us twice as we watched in awe at its incredible wingspan of flight. As it soared out of view down the river, we were left with a sense of amazement and beauty. This is a rare bird and was amazing to see. The trail at Alderbrook Meadows is only about half a mile long, but gave us some amazing views. It also has many lookouts along Connecticut River as well as many wooded areas.
For our sustainability leadership project, we wanted to do something that would have a meaningful and lasting impact. We wanted to do something that helped people to connect with nature while also supporting a broader environmental mission. This is why we partnered with Mount Graceland Conservation Trust. Their mission is to conserve and care for forests, farms, and waterways in order to build healthy and climate resilient and biodiverse communities. In addition to this, they also believe that nature should be inclusive and accessible, and their goal is to reconnect more people to the land, which resonated with our group. For this project, we assisted in installing a nature-themed storybook walk along the trail at Alderbrook Meadows. The story chosen served to engage children and families and to encourage them to explore the outdoors. Each page of the book was mounted on posts along the trail, turning a simple walk into an inclusive and educational journey. This trail is also accessible, giving people of all ages and abilities the opportunity to enjoy nature. In addition to the story, we walked along the trail many times, clearing debris and ensuring that the trail remained accessible and hazard-free. We staggered the days that we volunteered so that we were able to monitor the trails and report any hazards that were there so that they could be removed and the trail could remain accessible for all. We also identified birds and logged them onto two apps called Merlin and eBird in order to make this trail more popular for birders and to bring more people's attention to this area. This project is important for many reasons, but one of the most important reasons is because it helps to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the natural world at a time when climate change and biodiversity loss are critical global issues. By helping children and families to experience nature in an engaging and meaningful way, we are planting seeds of environmental stewardship that can grow into lifelong care for the earth. It not only supports those who use the trail, but those who live there, like wetland birds, beavers, and even plant life. These things rely on preserves and respectfully use natural spaces to survive and thrive. This project helps to encourage people to form positive relationships with the environment, allowing them to feel more connected to the land. When people feel connected to nature and the land, they are more likely to protect it. We hope that this inspires others and show them that small, creative actions, like building a storybook trail, can support bigger goals like conservation, inclusion, and climate change. We chose Mount Grace as our community partner because they prioritize sustainability and land stewardship. Their commitment to protecting both the environment and public access to nature made them the perfect fit for our goals and interests. By supporting their mission through this project, we not only helped a great organization, but also learned how to take tangible steps towards a more just and sustainable world.
This is Douglas with Healers United. This is the research portion of our Sustainability Leadership Project. Now, Alderbrook Meadows is a 5-acre trail along a beaver impounded wetland that can be found south of Route 36 in Northfield. Now, this trail is 1/500th of the size of UMass, so it's pretty tiny. But while it is so small, it still has a lot of history, and it's a very nice place to check out. The land that this trail used to rest upon used to belong to the Sokoke people, an indigenous people who have lived along the Connecticut River and in Northfield for many centuries. During the colonial era, settlers were often in conflict with the Sokoke, and just nearby we can find a memorial to Captain Richard Beers and his company of 36 men who were ambushed and killed over territorial disputes. Now, while this place is no longer a war ground, it is a wonderful spot to take a walk, as it's filled with beavers, bears, birds, and nature of all sorts. And it is frequently upkept by a very wonderful community of people. It's a wonderful place to check out. The work we did at upkeep of this trail is related to climate change in the way that by allowing people to have access to these wonderful natural spots, we are bringing attention to the destruction that climate change causes. By getting more people out there and into the woods and seeing how great this is, you're able to raise awareness for the cause and maybe you can change some people's minds and convince them to care more.
Is sustainability leadership important? Yes, it's very important for several reasons. In a world facing climate change, a loss of biodiversity, and the exploitation of natural resources, there's a demand for leadership. When solving problems, leaders in sustainability will help focus on long-term environmental and personal well-being rather than a short-term economic gain. One thing that I've learned this semester is how important policy is for environmental issues. Leaders in sustainability will help change culture on multiple levels, whether that's just your friends and family or even on a larger scale. Bringing a perspective from a sustainability discipline is very important. Combine this with other leaders providing their perspectives from their unique disciplines, and we get a more equitable solution for all. Mount Grace Trust is a leader in sustainability because of its commitment to land conservation, inclusive public access, and community involvement. At Alderbrook Meadows, we set up an interactive nature-themed storybook along the trail. This is advertised at the local Northfield Library. Its goal is to get children outdoors. If kids grow up learning to appreciate nature, they're going to carry these values with them into their future. This will make an impact wherever they go. When it comes to how the members of Healers United has grown as leaders throughout this project, we all think of communication. Through setting up and then actually volunteering at Alderbrook Meadows, as well as learning in class, we have learned how to properly communicate. Especially when talking about issues like climate change, it's important to approach the conversation with respect and an open mind. Knowing who you're communicating with is also important. This is why we learn things like social math, as well as our target audience for the infographic project. These skills will help us be leaders and make change in our community throughout our lives. When I reflect on our experience volunteering at Alderbrook Meadows, it was definitely a good experience. It was hard for me to feel like I'm actually helping the community when my contribution is relatively small and I can't directly see the results of my action, but in theory, I know this will help the community. I hope parents and children come to the trail and love the book we put up. I also hope that people that use wheelchairs can come to the Alderbrook Meadows Trail and enjoy being in nature. I think the community outreach was way better than I expected. I enjoyed how we were trying to make the trail more attractive and accessible for all. I also enjoyed talking to the land steward Tessa and hearing what she had to say about nature. It was challenging to find time for the whole group to get out there together, but we all made it work individually. I'd just like to take a second to thank Tessa Dowling for the opportunity to gain insight into what it's like to be a land steward. I appreciate the chance to make an effect on our community, as well as your effort to help us out with our project. Thank you.